Hello again. Welcome to Tim Gonan Reads His Blogs. And we're carrying on with the Secrets of the Bible Revealed documentary. Episode 3, The Life of Adam and Eve, the Book of Enoch. In this review, I will be examining what is called the pseudepigraphia, or extra-biblical scriptures. The Secret series has experts propose different things about the extra-biblical scriptures in an attempt to divine why they were left out of the Bible. The first one I'm examining, the life, is very much a case of one of those things is not like the other. It's not like the rest of the Tanakh. It most resembles Job, but with overt Christian themes. One expert proposes it didn't make the cut because it vociferates Eve's perspective, but as the Bible has plenty of female perspective, for example Ruth and Sarah's dominant will over Abraham, this can't be true. According to Wiki, it may have been based on a genuine early text, and if this is true, I don't doubt that Saul of Tarshish would have been well aware of it. This brings me to the question of the caliber of modern biblical scholarship. How can modern biblical scholarship be so poor as that this documentary series could come into existence? The highly qualified experts in this series all come across as Bible-hating crackpots. Whatever ideas they come up with to try and show the Bible is wrong, false, or fake are always easily falsifiable, being inaccurate in how or what they portray of the Bible. So why do they bother? Are they indoctrinated, brainwashed, corrupt, or trying to justify personal wrongs by showing that which shows their life choices as being wrong to be wrong itself? Who knows but God? The Book of Enoch is once again a case of one of these things is not like the others. It is different in style, in that it names and talks about angels and their doings, as one would talk about groups of men, and that the author seeks to seem knowledgeable in scientific matters and many small details. It is fair to say that early biblical makers would have had no trouble missing this text out of the official canon. So what does it take for a scripture to make the cut, so to speak? It's not complicated. Saul of Tarshish explains we must study to show ourselves approved. Study what though? The answer is the Torah. All biblical books must be in every way in line with the doctrine Moses laid down. When the Book of Enoch has souls crying out to God, it does something the Tanakh never does. As far as the Tanakh is concerned, souls are a mystery existing no one knows where, doing no one knows what. Solomon writes that no one knows whether souls ascend or descend after death. Clearly, he had not read the Book of Enoch. If it didn't exist at his time, then it clearly came into being afterwards, meaning it cannot have been written by Enoch, and thus its entire premise is based on a falsehood. What then should you believe of such a book? The Tanakh only names 2 or 3 angels, not reams of them as in Enoch, and altogether their mode and form of existence remain a mystery. I believe this world flows out of the Torah, in the same way science sees the world flowing around natural universal laws. The Torah binds this world together and makes it operational, so to speak, by giving boundaries to what it is composed of and what lives upon it. In the end, the words of the Tanakh will bring this world to an end and a new one into beginning. How? Not by some arcane magic, but rather by describing to us what God has said, and what God has said as the creator of all things must come to pass. Such is what I believe. In summary, the Book of Enoch has concepts alien to both the Torah and other ancient texts, such as the Epic of Gilgamesh. It comes across as a book formed in the mind of a man influenced by a multitude of different religions and philosophies, sitting in the crucible of belief systems, rather than a work formed in the literally desolate isolation of some unimaginably ancient pre-flood past. And quickly moving on to episode 3b, Gospel of Thomas, Gospel of Mary, and the Apocalypse of Peter. Gospel of Thomas, a collection of weird sayings comparable to the real gospel sayings in the same way that the serpent and Hava paraphrased God's commands in the book of Genesis. I don't think that Thomas of the Gospels wrote it. To be perfectly honest, they are quite ridiculous. And I defy anyone to read them and not laugh out loud. If they weren't written by a stone hippie, I would be very surprised. Gospel of Mary, if it were really any good, more copies would have survived because it would have been more popular. The fact that it didn't means that the believers in earlier times were more clued up than most would have credited them. full of convoluted, nonsensical drivel. Uses similar jargon to the Book of Thomas. Why anyone would spend 2 seconds taking this seriously, I don't know. Apocalypse of Peter. The final text used in the 3rd episode of Bible Secrets, revealed to try to somehow bring down on the text chosen for the New Testament canon. To sum up, the only real value and power these texts have is their own name, invoked by Bible haters to make Bible believers who are fortunate enough not to have wasted time perusing these wishy-washy texts think that they had some measly excuse not to believe the Bible. It is not possible to compare these Gospels to biblical ones. They are so poorly executed. I can imagine some weird guru of antiquity high on datura spouting them to the unfortunate prisoners of his isolated desert ashram. But a serious biblical material in the mouth of a true biblical scholar, evangelist, or teacher? No way. And that's it. Thank you for listening once again.